Girivaradhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Vishnupad Paramahansa Brahmacharya Tadasi Srimad His Divine Grace Sri Lesi Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Sri Guru Parampara Ki Jai Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is Ki Vrindavan Dhamma Ki Jai All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. Go Pramananda Hari Hari Bol. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. All together, please. Om Jnana Timarandasya Ganandana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sabidam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yukta Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Prijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padang Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karana Sindhu Dhina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapcha Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Brindavanishwari Vrishabhana Sutadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, translation and commentary Srila Prabhupada. Today's verse number 54, chapter 18, the perfection of renunciation. Please repeat. Brahma-bhūta, prasanna-ātmā, na śocati, na kāṅkṣati, samaḥ, sarveṣu, mad-bhaktiṁ, labhate, parām, brahma-bhūta prasanna-ātmā, na śocati, na kāṅkṣati, samaḥ sarveṣu bhūteṣu, mad-bhaktiṁ labhate parām, brahma-bhūta prasannātmā, na śocati na kāṅkṣati, samaḥ sarveṣu bhūteṣu, mad-bhaktiṁ labhate parām, brahma-bhūta prasannātmā, na śocati na kāṅkṣati, samaḥ sarveṣu bhūteṣu, mad-bhaktiṁ labhate parām.
brahma-bhūta prasannātmā, brahma-bhūta prasannātmā, śocati na kāṅkṣati, samaḥ sarveṣu bhūteṣu, mat-bhaktiṁ labhate parām,
brahma-bhūta prasannātmā, na śocati na kāṅkṣati, samaḥ sarveṣu bhūteṣu, mat-bhaktiṁ labhate parām.
brahma-bhūta prasanna-ātmā,
brahma-bhūta prasannātmā,
na śocati na kāṅkṣati, samaḥ sarveṣu bhūteṣu, mad-bhaktiṁ labhate parām.
Vaishnavis. Brahma-bhūta prasanna-ātmā, mad-bhaktiṁ labhate parām. Bhūta prasanna-ātmā, śocati na kāṅkṣati.
samaḥ sarveṣu bhūteṣu mad-bhaktiṁ
Labhate parām. Okay, word for word, please repeat. Brahma-bhūtaḥ, being one with the Absolute. Prasanna-ātmā, fully joyful. Na, never. Śocati, laments. Na, never. Kāṅkṣati, desires. Samaḥ, equally disposed. Sarveṣu, to all. Bhūteṣu, living entities. Mad-bhaktiṁ, my devotional service. Labhate, gains. Parām, transcendental. Translation Srila Prabhupada. One who is thus transcendentally situated at once realizes the Supreme Brahman and thus becomes fully joyful. He never laments nor desires to have anything. He is equally disposed toward every living entity. In that state he attains pure devotional service unto me. Please repeat. One who is thus transcendentally situated at once realizes the Supreme Brahman and becomes fully joyful. He never laments or desires to have anything. He is equally disposed toward every living entity. In that state, he attains pure devotional service unto me. Purport Srila Prabhupada. To the impersonalist, achieving the brahma-bhūta stage, becoming one with the Absolute, is the last word. But for the personalist or pure devotee, one has to go still further to become engaged in pure devotional service. This means that one who is engaged in pure devotional service to the Supreme Lord is already in a state of liberation, called brahma-bhūta, oneness with the Absolute. Without being one with the Supreme, the Absolute, one cannot render service unto him. In the Absolute conception, there is no difference between the served and the servitor. Yet, the distinction is there in a higher spiritual sense. In the material concept of life, when one works for sense gratification, there is misery. But in the Absolute world, when one is engaged in pure devotional service, there is no misery. The devotee in Krishna consciousness has nothing for which to lament or desire. Since God is full, a living entity who is engaged in God's service in Krishna consciousness becomes also full in himself. He is just like a river, cleansed of all dirty water. Because a pure devotee has no thought other than Krishna, he is naturally always joyful. He does not lament for any material loss or aspire for gain. Because he is full in the service of the Lord, he has no desire for material enjoyment, because he knows that every living entity is a fragmental part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, and therefore eternally a servant. He does not see in the material world someone as higher, someone as lower. Higher and lower positions are ephemeral, and a devotee has nothing to do with ephemeral appearances or disappearances. For him, stone and gold are of equal value. This is the brahma-bhūta stage, and this stage is attained very easily by the pure devotee. In that state of existence, the idea of becoming one with the Supreme Brahman and annihilating one's individuality becomes hellish. The idea of attaining the heavenly kingdom becomes phantasmagoria, and the senses are like serpents whose poison teeth are broken. As there is no fear of a servant with broken teeth, there is no fear from the senses when they are automatically controlled. Excuse me. The world is miserable for the materially infected person. Excuse me. But for a devotee, the entire world is as good as Vaikuntha, or the spiritual sky. The highest personality in this material world is no more significant than an ant for a devotee. Such a stage can be achieved by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, who preached pure devotional service in this age. Mukam karochi vachalam pangam laite girim yat kripatamaham vande Sri Gurun dinatarinam. Brahma-bhūta prasannātmā śocati kāṅkṣati samaḥ sarveṣu bhūteṣu mad-bhaktiṁ labhate parām. One who is thus transcendentally situated at once realizes the Supreme Brahman and becomes fully joyful. He never laments nor desires to have anything. He is equally disposed toward every living entity. In that state he attains pure devotional service unto me. So here's more scientific knowledge from Krishna. You see this, he never laments or desires to have anything. So that means material. The impersonalist will look at this, or the nihilist, the Buddhistic type philosophy, and they say, yes, this is wonderful. When I'm enlightened, I'll have no desire. Because that is the Buddhistic nihilistic theory, that by desire I'm trying to enjoy this world, and because this world is miserable, the more I try to enjoy, the more miserable I become. So they think, in such a frame of mind, that the best solution is not to desire. If I stop desiring and I just be. Right, so they have all these philosophies. Be here now. Don't desire. Become vacant. But Prabhupada says there in the purport, for the devotee, this idea of spiritually annihilating is hellish. Because the actual state is not to be free of desire, but free of material desire. So therefore, if you watch all the Vaishnav bhajans, ye prashade pure sarva asha, mama, what is that verse? Mama angsa, my desire, Tulsi, is you will give me qualification, and then by the mercy of the Guru, all the desires will be fulfilled. And it is stated in the Shastra, the purports, that the only thing necessary to become a pure devotee and go to the spiritual world is the intense desire to achieve that. That is the ultimate qualification. And we saw that, 15th chapter, Yoga of Supreme Person. It explains that the material world is like an ocean. It's an ocean of desire. And on this ocean, people by their desire are navigating. Some they're going here, some are there. The lions are desiring this. The microbes are desiring this. The birds are the human beings. They're all moving on this lake of desire. But the problem is they're desiring the material thing. So they remain in the cycle of birth and death. So desire is not the problem. In spiritual world, we think, no, I want to desire. I want to execute the order of the spiritual master. I want to fulfill the order of the spiritual master. I want to please the spiritual master. I want to realize Krishna. I want to realize Lord Chaitanya. I want to attain Swarup Siddhi. I want to go to the transcendental world. I want to live eternally in the Leela of Krishna. I want to join the Sankirtan party of Lord Chaitanya. So in the spiritual world, the spiritual path, the actual Vedanta Krit Vedavid Eva Chaham, Krishna is the goal of the Vedanta. He's known by the Vedanta. What do the Vedanta say? Atato brahma-jignas. Now you're a human, atato. You should brahma-jignas. You should find out what is Brahman, what is the Supreme, what is Spirit. That is what you should be desiring. Of course, people are desiring otherwise, particularly in Kali Yuga. They're desiring to enjoy, but they do not enjoy, because as Prabhupada mentioned there in the purport, the material world is by nature miserable. Whatever you attain, you will lose. It is temporarily. Dukkalayam asashritam. It is miserable and everything goes. You may be a handsome young man, but later on you'll be an old man with arthritis. Right? One day you may be Miss Universe, and then after 50 years, you're an old grandmother. So everything changes in the material world. So, therefore, what to do? The devotee wants to attain Brahman, as it says here. How there's advice, scientific advice, in the previous chapter. Krishna has just explained the different varnas and how they should be pursued, and the different ashrams, what you should cultivate, what you should do. But then he says, there's a verse there in the Bhagavatam, Dharma swanustitam pumsham. Those that just follow rules and regulations of varnashram without keeping an eye, nate vidu shastra gatim hi Vishnu, without desiring to realize Vishnu, that the shravan hi eva kevalam. It's just a useless waste of time. Because by learning about Brahman, by realizing Brahman, you can attain eternal life. If you just follow varnashram or your material duties very nicely, that's good. You may go up to Swagaloka, but you're still in the cycle of birth and death. So that is not recommended at all. But Krishna tells Arjuna these things and thereby instructs the worlds. But after doing that, he makes the point in the previous verses. Being purified by his intelligence and controlling the mind with determination, giving up objects of sense gratification, being freed from attachment and hatred, one who lives in a secluded place, who eats little, who controls his body, mind, and power of speech, who is always in trance and who is detached, free from false ego, false strength, false pride, lust, anger, and the acceptance of material things, free from false proprietorship, and peaceful, such a person is certainly elevated to the position of self-realization. So yes, follow your varnashram, Krishna is saying, according to your qualities and your abilities, follow that. But that is external. That is what Lord Chaitanya told Ramananda Roy, that this is external. So, this whole section I brought here talks between Lord and Ramananda Roy. Yes. So Ramananda Roy was met by Lord Chaitanya on this whole point at the Godavari. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, if I remember correctly, Ramananda Roy is a fit person to associate with you. No other devotee can compare with him in the knowledge of transcendental mellows. So this is the point. This is what the devotee is desiring. This is what Lord Chaitanya is desiring. So he is just enlightened, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, about the true understanding of Vedanta. And Sarvabhauma, he spontaneously created 100 words, slokas, and one of them, the famous one is Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga. That Lord Chaitanya, you have come, and you have come to give this detachment. Yes, follow your varnashram, but you must find time to meditate on the Brahman. You must realize that which is beyond the material energy. Because this material world is a mixture of matter and spirit. So don't spend all your time involved in matter. That is the basic principle of yoga. So, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said, yes, you have come, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to teach Vairagya Vidya. That means Bhakti Yoga, devotion to Krishna, that is characterized by two things. Vairag, detachment from material results, desire, and Vidya, spiritual knowledge. Avidya is material ignorance. So you've come to teach that. And Bhakti is dependent upon that. And we see that in the 6 Goswamis. They were full of knowledge, writing all these wonderful books, but they were completely detached. They were sleeping under a different tree in this ashram, this. They were completely materially detached. So they exemplify Vairagya Vidya. So we should understand that we have to perform tapa. That means Vidya. We should gain Siddhanta, Sambandha Gyan, Abhideya Gyan, Prayojan Tattva. We should learn all that, Vidya. And then we should perform tapasya. What is the tapasya for Kali Yuga? Hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam and chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This is our yoga, Shravanam Kirtanam. And then Smaranam. Smaranam will be the result of Shravanam and Kirtanam, hearing and chanting. And then you can cultivate Smaranam. Those that have got mantra initiation, the mantras at Trisandhya, you chant these mantras to Guru, to Lord Chaitanya, to Krishna. Then you should practice Smaranam at that time in a regulated way. So, Vairagya Vidya Nidya Bhakti Yoga. So Lord Chaitanya has been told by Ramananda Roy. Ramananda Roy is a great learned devotee in transcendental mellows. What are the transcendental mellows? Shantaras, Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, Madhurya. And the secondary rasas, laughter, astonishment, chivalry, compassion, anger, dread, ghastliness. And then there is 33 sanchari bhavs, vaibhavs, and they agitate the mixture of those. So that's all in the nectar of devotion. That's the science of rasa. So Lord Chaitanya is saying Ramananda Roy is expert in all that. So you are on this path. You are a sannyasi. So you go and take instruction. Now Ramananda Roy in Krishna Leela is Arjuna. So Arjuna in the Gita is instructed by Krishna. But here in the Chaitanya Leela, Lord Chaitanya is taking the role of a devotee, is instructed by Ramananda Roy. So Ramananda Roy becomes the Shiksha Guru of Krishna as Lord Chaitanya in Chaitanya Leela. It's very interesting. So Krishna enjoys being instructed by his devotee. This gives insight to his personality. Yes, so Sarvabhauma, and this verse that is today is part of their discussion. Because Lord Chaitanya went to see Ramananda Roy and he wanted to know what is sadhya and what is sadhana. What is the goal and what is the means of attainment? That is religion. The goal of religion, Krishna Prem, how to attain it? Sadhana Bhakti, Vairagya Vidya, Nidya Bhakti Yoga. So he says, Lord Sarvabhauma says, don't neglect him because he's a Sudra and a tax collector. He's a greatly learned Pandit. And we see in the purport and in today's verse that the Pandit, Samadashina, he's not interested in making material up and down. He just sees Vasudeva Savamiti, this is all spiritual. And his heart is, his consciousness is with Krishna. Prabhupada, one purport, one lecture, he says, the devotee, his consciousness is merged with Krishna's consciousness. It's mixed. Just like the lights, they're all giving out different kind of light, but it's all mixing together. So Krishna is the supreme. Nityo Nityanam Chaitanas Chaitananam. He is the supreme, eternal, supremely conscious. So the devotee, he attains samadhi by resting his consciousness upon Krishna through bhakti. So how to do that? This conversation gives all the different stages. Ramananda Roy is a fit person. Yes. Okay. So we'll move along. So hearing all this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, here's another thing, he's the devotee. He asked for Bhattacharya, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. I think he is Brihaspati. He is the spiritual master of the Devas. And he's taking part in the Leela. And so Krishna, as Lord Chaitanya, asked for his blessing. Yes. So he asked for the blessing to return again to Jagannath Puri, but now I'll go to the Godavari and I'll take instruction from Ramananda Roy. Saying this, Lord Chaitanya departed on his tour, and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya immediately fainted in ecstasy and fell to the ground. So then it goes here, and then Lord Chaitanya, he goes to the Godava and he meets Ramananda Roy at this place called Vijaya Nrsinga, a holy place there. Right, and he was dancing and chanting in front of Nrsingadev, and all the people were amazed to see this effulgent sannyasi, ecstasy, dancing in front of Lord Nrsingadev. It was very interesting. Lord Nrsingadev is killing Hiranyakashipu, but Lord Chaitanya is dancing in ecstasy. So that is the devotee. He doesn't see, a materialist may think, oh, what's this picture of a lion, or he's killing someone? And all the devotees say, yes, that we love this picture. This is our God. He's killing people. Of course, he's killing the enemy of the devotee. Vinashaya tu duskritam. So, all the people came, they saw Lord Chaitanya, and then they had great ecstasy. And then Lord Chaitanya was embracing all the local people, and they would become empowered. They'd return to their village and spread bhakti in that way. Yeah. Yes. So in this way, Lord Chaitanya went South India, and then Lord Chaitanya met Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, chapter 8. Yes. Sorry, Ramananda Roy. It's chapter 8. And he said, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya has spoken of your good qualities, and he has made great endeavor to convince me to meet you, Lord Chaitanya. Indeed, I have come here just to meet you. It is very good that even without making an effort, I have gotten your interview here. So then they exchanged pleasantries in ecstasy, and now Lord Chaitanya, he says, it is the general practice of saintly person to deliver the fallen. So therefore you must deliver me with knowledge, and so on and so forth. This is what he's saying. Right? And then Lord Ramananda Roy, he praises Lord Chaitanya, just by seeing you people are becoming liberated, what I can do. And then Lord Chaitanya says, I wish to hear from you about Lord Krishna. Indeed, my mind is inclined to desire this, therefore I wish to see you again. So then they meet in the evening the next day. They went to a house of a brahmana, And then Lord Chaitanya said, please tell me about sadhya and sadhana. Lord Chaitanya, Ramananda Roy said, if one executes the prescribed duties of his social position, varnashram, just like the earlier part of this chapter, he awakens his original Krishna consciousness. The Supreme Lord is worshipped by proper execution of varnashram. There is no other way, this is quoting the Shastra, to satisfy the Supreme Person. One must be situated in the 4 varnas and ashrams. But then Lord Chaitanya says, this is external. You had better tell me of some other means. Ramananda replied, to offer the results of one's activities to Krishna is the essence of all perfection. So that's interesting. In the Vedas there's this prescription, you should follow varnashram. So somebody may say, oh, the Vedas is confusing. No, but this is for those people who are at that platform. They have those directions. But now Lord Chaitanya in Kali Yuga is giving the real understanding. And so then he quotes Yad Karosi Yad Adnasi, that yes, you can do your varnashram, but you should do it for the sake of the Supreme. Okay. This is also external, Lord Chaitanya says, because you are offering your varnashram duties, and they are external, so you're actually offering your material abilities, so it's external to the soul, to your swarup, your relationship with Krishna. Please proceed and speak further. Okay. Ramananda says, to give up one's occupational duties in varnashram is the essence of perfection. And then, occupational duties, Ramananda Roy continued, are in the scriptures. If one analyzes them, he can understand their qualities and faults, then give them up to render service to the Supreme Lord. Such a person is considered a first-class man. So that's what this verse is. The one before today. You should go to a quiet place and do your bhajan. And if you remember in chapter 13, divine and demoniac nature, at the beginning, Krishna explains to Arjuna, yes, detachment from the general mass of person, going to accepting the importance of self-realization, and doing bhajan is a divine quality. So it's very interesting. But now the point is going to be there. And then Lord Ramananda Roy quotes Sarvadharma Prijaja. Right? He says, after giving up all kinds of religious and occupational duties, like Krishna says, give up all this dharma, varnashram, and just surrender to me. I will give you protection. Hearing Ramananda Roy speak in this way, Lord Chaitanya said, go ahead, say something more. Devotional service mixed with empirical knowledge is the essence of perfection. That means devotional service that is not dependent on bhava, emotional love for Krishna, but rather I'm performing devotional service because I have knowledge of the scripture. I have an intellectual understanding. This is called buddhi yoga. In the beginning of the Gita, Krishna says devotional service, Prabhupada translates, but if you look at the Sanskrit, Krishna is saying buddhi yoga. Buddhi yoga dadami. Buddhi yoga means I don't have bhava, I don't have prem, but I have convinced buddhi, convinced intelligence, and therefore I'm following that. Right, now, Madhya 8, verse 65, this is 56. Ramananda Roy says, brahma-bhūta prasannātmā na śocati na kāṅkṣati, sarveṣu bhūteṣu. So that's today's verse. One who is brahma-bhūta, who is realized, I've realized, that spirit. So in the Gita, if you remember, there is one section where Krishna says, Vasudeva Savamiti Samaḥ Sadulabha. But before that, what is Manushanam Sahasreshu Yaschid Katiti Siddhaye. It says, out of many, one will attain perfection. But out of those, very few realize Vasudeva Savamiti. So what is that perfection in the middle there? Out of those endeavoring for perfection, one realizes perfection. But then, so it means he's realized I'm spirit. So he's brahma-bhūta. He hasn't come to his relationship with Krishna. He's realized, hey, I'm not this body, I'm spirit. So that is a form of siddhi. To understand I'm not material. It's very good. But it's not the whole thing. To realize your spirit is one thing, but what are you going to do now that you know your spirit? Right? So, and then Ramananda Roy goes, he says, Lord Chaitanya said, well, that's okay. This brahma-bhūta prasannātmā verse, you see, here's Lord Chaitanya's answer. I'll read it. After hearing this, the Lord, as usual, rejected it, considering it to be external. Oh, you're giving up the material world. Very good, but it's still external. It's still about your body and your mind. You're still giving up the material world. What about your engagement in transcendence? That's the real point. Of course, he's not saying that. Considering it external. Then he asked Ramananda Roy to speak further. Ramananda said, pure devotional service without any touch of speculative knowledge is the essence of perfection. So therefore, without being impelled by intelligence or buddhi, now I'm performing bhakti because of bhava. Because of bhava. Bhava becomes prem. I'm not speculating. I don't need to. I'm realizing Krishna through my bhava. At bhava bhakti stage, that's when you realize Krishna. Krishna is ecstatic. So when the devotee becomes ecstatic, he realizes Krishna. So, I've gone beyond being brahma-bhūta, siddha, and now I'm realizing my relationship with Krishna. Then he gets swarup siddhi in that. That's a different perfection. Then Ramananda Roy continued. Okay, that's devotion, that's external. But those, and then this is Prabhupada used to quote this all the time. Jnane prayasyanan upayasya namanta eva. It's from Bhagavatam. And here's the translation. Lord Brahma said, those devotees who have thrown away the impersonal conception of the absolute truth and have therefore abandoned discussing empiric philosophical truths should hear from self-realized devotees about your holy name, form, qualities and pastimes. Right? So that's Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam. Prahlad Maharaj introduces that, 7th canto. Okay, put aside Varnashram, and now you realize your spirit. Now do Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam. Do your bhajan, and realize the name, form, qualities, and pastimes of Krishna in transcendence. That is even higher. They should completely follow the principles of devotional service and remain free from illicit sex, gambling, intoxication, animal slaughter. Surrendering themselves fully with body, word and minds, they can live in any ashram or social status. Indeed, you are conquered by such devotees, although you are always unconquerable. Right? Gita, jitopi. It's very interesting. Krishna is only conquered by his devotees' devotion. So, that is performed, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam. So you're getting the picture how it is going step by step. Right. At this point, Lord Chaitanya replied, this is all right, but still you can speak more on the subject. Ramananda Roy then replied, ecstatic love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the essence of all perfection. Right? So, this is the discussion of Rupa Goswami, Jaiva Dharma, the higher levels, the Satsandabhas. This is what the Goswamis, they expanded on the Shikshastakam of Lord Chaitanya. And this is why Lord Chaitanya is Namo Mahavadanyaya, Krishna Prema Pradayate. Because Lord Chaitanya is not just saying follow Varnashram, become detached, become a good person, meditate on Brahman. No, Lord Chaitanya is giving Krishna Prema Pradayate by Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam. And then what purpose? Ecstatic love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the essence of all perfection. So Krishna, when he was instructing Uddhava, he sent Uddhava, go to Vrindavan, Uddhava, and see the gopis. Carry a message. Tell them I'm coming soon. And then Uddhava thought, oh, I have devotion for Krishna. But when he went to Vrindavan, he saw the gopis were acting out the Leela of Krishna. Everyone was like possessed. They were all talking about Krishna, and they were all completely removed from any material conversation. They were all in great ecstasy of separation, vipralamba seva bhav. So this is the method that Lord Chaitanya taught, that you should do your bhajan with a sense of vipralamba. I haven't attained Krishna. This is where the Sahajiya makes the mistake. They think, oh, I put on a sari and I dance in the moonlight, I'm with Krishna. No, they think by my imagination I'm attaining Krishna. They are devotees, but they have the wrong siddhanta. The devotee, he performs his bhajan and he is like the gopis that are being restrained from the Ras Leela by their family. Don't go to Krishna's playing his flute, stay here. You're a married girl. You're a young girl. Why are you going in the forest? So the gopis, it explained there in the Bhagavatam, that they left the last remnants of their material karma and went in their spiritual body to the Ras Leela. So this is, they were feeling vipralamba. So nayanam gladasrudharaya vadanam hridaya gira. This is what Lord Chaitanya has taught, that you should cultivate, I haven't attained Krishna. I need to attain Krishna. Where is Krishna? And remember that song, what is that verse? Sad Goswami Astikam. Hey Krishna, Brajadevike, hey Nanda Sudno Kuto. Are you on the bank of the Jamuna? Are you at Govardhan? Where are you? They're the 6 Goswamis. They were executing bhakti in that mood. Where is Krishna? I haven't seen him. They were the highest level of devotees, Manjari Bhav, but where is Krishna? So they're teaching us that we should follow in the footsteps. Mahajyena Gata Swapantha. Then Ramananda Roy continued, as long as there is hunger and thirst, eating and drinking make one feel very happy. When the Lord is worshipped with pure love, transcendental bliss is awakened in the heart of the devotee. So pure love means I'm worshipping Krishna just to please my Guru, to please Krishna, to please Radharani, to please all the devotees. I am just doing it for their satisfaction. Pure devotional service in Krishna consciousness cannot be had even by pious activity in hundreds and thousands of lives. That means pious activity means punya. Just by doing punya, becoming a good person, you can't attain bhakti. It can only be attained, bhakti, by paying one price. That is intense greed to obtain it. If it is available somewhere, one must purchase it without delay. So Lord Chaitanya, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he wrote one song, right? That Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda is in the marketplace and he's selling the holy name. And if you chant the holy name, you will attain love of God. But how to purchase that holy name? Lord Nityananda is in the marketplace. Nam Hat, he's selling the holy name which gives Krishna prem. How can I get that? So, how much money do I pay in the marketplace? Is it like some guava? No. Is it a kilo of guava for 50 rupees? No. If you want to get that holy name, you have to have desire, intense desire. And then you can chant in ecstasy and attain Krishna prem. Hearing up to the point of spontaneous love, the Lord said, that is all right, but if you know more, please tell me. So now Lord Chaitanya is saying, oh, that's okay, now you're talking. Before it was all external. In reply, Lord Ramananda said, spontaneous loving service in servitude, as exchanged by master and servant, is the highest perfection. So he says, okay, Dasya Bhav. And then he goes on, and he quotes some scriptures glorifying Dasya Bhav. And then he says, loving service rendered in fraternity is highest. So he's going higher and higher. And then he starts talking about Vatsalya Bhav. And there's one famous verse, O Brahmana, what pious activities did Nanda Maharaj perform by which he received the Supreme Personality of Godhead as his son? What did he do? What did Mother Yashoda do to get Vatsalya Bhav? So that question is there. And then Lord Chaitanya, your statements are getting better and better, one after the other. But surpassing of them all, there is another transcendental mellow, Lord Chaitanya says. So Ramananda Roy is kind of like holding back on Madhurya secret. Even Jiva Goswami held back a bit in Gopal Champul. He says, Ramananda, conjugal love for Krishna is the topmost position in love of God. When Lord Krishna was dancing with the gopis in the Ras Leela, the gopis were embraced by the arms of the Lord. The transcendental favor was never bestowed upon the goddess of fortune or other consorts in the spiritual world. Indeed, never was such a thing even imagined by the most beautiful girls in Svargaloka. Right? What? So, right? But then it explains in the Bhagavatam, it says, however, when they were in the Ras Leela and Krishna was embracing the gopis, they were in ecstatic love of God. It explains here that, however, Radharani was not satisfied. And Krishna was not really satisfied because the intimate loving affairs of Radha and Krishna, they could not be performed when all the sadhana siddhas and all the other gopis there. Radha and Krishna, they wanted to go to a quiet place. So there's discussion about the 5 bhavas. Right? And then there's great purports. So therefore, as you know, in the Ras Leela, Krishna disappeared. And Radharani disappeared. And there's a pastime there where Radharani was established as the leader of all the devotees. When the gopis were overwhelmed with dissatisfaction due to Lord Krishna's absence from the Ras Leela, Krishna returned to them and told them, my dear gopis, our meeting is certainly free from all material contamination. I must admit that in many lives it would be impossible for me to repay my debt to you because you have cut off the bondage of family life just to search for me. Consequently, I am unable to repay you. Therefore, please be satisfied with your honest activities in this regard. So Krishna feels, I'm in debt to the gopis. They've given up everything. I can't repay them. So just be satisfied with your ecstasy. So therefore, then Ramananda Roy, until this day, I did not know anyone within this material world who could inquire beyond this perfectional stage of devotional service. So then it goes on, because Ramananda Roy, he's the greatest Pandit, and they talk about Prema Vilas Vivata. Because now the subject has gone all the way from Varnashram to Radha and Krishna, their private loving affairs, and that is called Vaivata, means transformation of prem. Love, how the moods between Radha and Krishna in their prem lila, when they're in the Nikunja at night and they're discussing, and Radharani is smiling and Krishna is playing the flute. The exchanging, Vaivata, the transformation of prem. So, therefore, then there is the discussion how Radharani disappeared and so on, and then it talks. Ramananda Roy eventually comes to that Brahma-bhūta Leela, the transformations. But Lord Chaitanya then says, he puts the hand on Ramananda's mouth and he says, don't talk about those things. You can't talk about those things. Because they are the most intimate loving affairs between Radharani and Krishna. And Lord Chaitanya, of course, he's feeling this is just too much ecstasy. Please hold that back. So it's very interesting. Yes. When Krishna went to search for Radharani, this was in the Raslila, he wandered here and there. However, not finding her, he became afflicted by the arrow of Cupid, separation again, vipralamba, and began to lament. Since Krishna's lusty desires were not satisfied even in the midst of hundreds and thousands of gopis, and he was searching after Radharani, we can easily imagine how transcendently qualified she is. So Radharani is the Swarup Shakti of Krishna. Krishna is unlimited in all his quality. Radharani is unlimited. And and what Lord Chaitanya has done through the Goswamis and through his Chaitanya, he has revealed these highest pastimes of love of God. The exchanges between Radha and Krishna. Prema Vaivata. It's explained there in the Shastra that Radharani, sometimes she feels separation from Krishna even in the presence of Krishna. Because she's thinking, now I'm with Krishna, but the night will come to an end. Krishna will return to Nanda Maharaj and I'll have to go to Varsana. And she feels anxiety. She never feels, now I've captured Krishna. She is always in this mood. And Krishna, he is also thinking, Radharani has got to go to Varsana in the morning, and in the Pratakli, and I have to go to Nanda Maharaj. So he's feeling vipralamba too. So this is the amazing quality in the spiritual world, that the Supreme Lord and his Swarup Shakti, they have, it's explained in the Adilila, they have separated themselves eternally. Why? To enjoy the bliss of pastimes, this exchange of Vipralamba and Sambhog. And if you read Krishna Bhavanamrita, Krishna Lilamrita, you will see that the pastimes, they revolve around one thing. Meeting and separation, meeting and separation. They meet at the Raslila, then they separate in the morning, and then they meet at noontime, then they separate. And this is the beating heart of the pastimes. And this increases eternally the ecstasy between Radha and Krishna. And so, Lord Chaitanya, he is the most merciful incarnation because through the Goswamis and through himself, of course, he has revealed that this is the highest object of meditation. That we don't meditate on Brahman, we don't meditate on Paramatma. We know, of course, and we're conscious of those things. But what is the devotees of Lord Chaitanya, what is their meditation? Their meditation is the Sambhoga Vipralamba of Lord Chaitanya. And what is our role in that? Our role is to be servants of that Vipralamba and Sambhog. That is what everyone is doing. The Manjaris are arranging, sending messages. The Asta Leela, they're arranging. The cowherd boys are separating Krishna. Pastimes in the forest. Krishna is thinking how I can get to see. So everything is arranged. You see, if you read in this way, Govinda Lila Amrita, Krishna Bhavanamrita, Sanak, Kumar, Samita, everything is this beating heart. And that's what's discussed in Adi Lila, separation, Sambhog, separation, Sambhog, and then Vipralamba Sambhog. And that is the object of a devotee's bhajan. We're sadhakas, so what are we doing? We're chanting Hare Krishna, and with this understanding, our mind is fixed upon that. And so that's what this conversation reveals. This is what reveals. So we can read it in detail. I've skipped through a lot of places, but this is very important. This is called Prayojan Tattva. This is Prayojan, the necessity, the goal, Dato Brahma Jignas. When you inquire into Brahman, you will study Brahman, Brahma Jyoti, you will study Paramatma, Bhagavan. But then Bhagavan, he has his Swarup Shakti. And what are the pastimes between Radha and Krishna? That is the highest aspect of meditation. So many yogis, they're meditating upon Paramatma. Many impersonalists, they're meditating upon Brahman. Some people may be meditating on Lakshmi Narayan. But the devotees of Lord Chaitanya, they are meditating upon the heartbeat, the Vipralamba Sambhog of Lord Chaitanya and Radharani, and they are desiring that I can join in as a servant in that Leela. That's what we sing, right, Tulsi? Moraye abilas, vilas kunjadiyo vas, nayane bosada, yukalat ruparasi. The yugal pastime of Yugal Kishore. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Okay, we'll finish. Any quick question? So now you know everything, yes. Right? Don't forget it. Practice. Remember this. Yeah, the meeting, and if you just remember this, that is the seed. The meeting and separation of Radha and Krishna. That is the highest, that is the whole reason for the creation. To enjoy that pastime, Radha and Krishna. And so we, as Jiva Tattva, we can become servants in that Sambhog Vipralamba. That is our actual. And what did Lord Chaitanya say? Naham Viproti Narapati. I'm nothing to do with Gopi. Yes, Gopi Bhatta Kamalayo das or das anada. I am a servant of that Vipralamba Sambhog. Jai Radhe, Jai Shri Krishna, Shri Guru Paramparare Ke.